people right here, just watch it, because the Lord knows what they're going to do. Thanks for everybody coming out. This is the first time we have done an evening of honors like this. I think it's a great honor. Almost. You all right? Okay. You got time. So it's the first time we've done this. I think it's a great idea to have everybody that's going to be honored in one place at one time. It's a great opportunity. We're going to go through this. It's going to be fun. Don't be afraid to cheer, clap, applaud. So we're going to start the evening. With our Junior Grange, National Grange Junior Grange Director, Samantha.
Excited to be here with you tonight to talk about how amazing our juniors are. With me tonight, I have our National Junior Grange Ambassadors on stage with me for the last time tonight. This evening, representing the 2019 through 2021 class of ambassadors. Bryce Danko from Pennsylvania. For the year.
So the best of show for the mini scrapbook is Kimber Newman from Kansas. For the creative writing, age 5 through 7, first place goes to Addison Conroy from Virginia. For the age 8 to 10 range, first place goes to Kimber Newman from Kansas. For the age of 11 through 14, second place goes to Brandon Jervis from Connecticut. And first place goes to Annette Hartley from Rhode Island. And your best of show for the creative writing is Annette Hartley from Rhode Island.
Okay, and photography best of show is Ellen Duran. First is, from 5 to 7, age 5 to 7 is, first is Ellen Duran, and second is Addison Conroy, and third is Savannah Fens. Age 8 to 10 group is first for Kimber Newman. First is Savannah Van House, second is Brandon Jervis, and third is Rihanna Fens.
All right, for the creative art category, age 5 through 7, third place is Addison Conroy from Virginia. Second place is Ellen Duran from Kansas. And first place is Paige Darling from New York.
missed it, you missed a real treat. Representatives from all across the United States came and gave their presentations. And tonight I'm going to start off by announcing our Sign-a-Song winners. And our Best of Show winner will present their piece on stage. In second place, representing the state of Texas, Jasmine Rodriguez. In first place, and our Best of Show Sign-a-Song winner will be Kimber Newman from Kansas. Thank you, Ms. Cameron, you're awesome. All right, next up we had our public speaking, where again we had juniors from across the country represent a prepared speech and a short story speech. In our short story category, in our first place was Kimber Newman from the Great Plains region from Kansas. She wrapped it all. In the prepared speech category, third place was William Dune from Idaho. Second place, Raven Morris from Virginia. First place, Eric Rodriguez from Texas. And our Best of Show winner was Eric Rodriguez from Texas.
Hello, my fellow Grangers. My name is Eric Rodriguez, and I am a part of the Junior Grange of Texas. Today, we'll be speaking about a few ocean mammals. And no, I do not mean seals. Today, we'll be speaking about spermas and colossal squid. Did you know a sperma can grow up to 52 feet? Well, guess what? They can. Spermals are the largest of all toothed. They can grow to the maximum length of 52 feet and weigh 90,000 pounds. That's about 3 times as heavy as the Brooklyn Bridge in New York. Make sure you go see it. It's pretty good. Spermals have the largest brain of any known species that has ever existed on Earth. Spermals in search of squid use echolocation to find them. Spermals can dive as deep as 3,280 feet. The whales have to hold their breath up for up to 90 minutes. Sorry if I stumbled on the words. On those kind of dogs. Because spermals spend most of their time in deep waters. Their diet consists of species such as squid, sharks, and fish. Come on, like this very small fish. How come a fish can fill up a sperm whale? Like, come on. Spermals can eat about 3.5% of their body weight per day. Now we move to the colossal squid. The colossal squid is a very large deep-sea predator. Like in many large species, all the largest are female, also known as girls. And I have a question. You don't have to answer this. Anyway, so you know how your husbands are like tall? Why can't the boy colossal squid be alive? Like, come on. The colossal squid is the biggest squid in the world, being 39 to 46 feet long. The colossal squid is bigger than the giant squid from the zoo. Its body is a red-brown color, and it can live up to 2,000 meters below the surface of the Southern Ocean. The colossal squid has the largest eyes of any animal, larger even those of the great whales. We're gonna see you with. Just kidding. It's the main food eaten by sperm. Unlike the giant squid, whose enormous tentacle known as suckers with small teeth. I mean, that's literally no action. The colossal squid's limbs also have sharp hooks. Many on the back, believed to be caused by the look of the colossal squid. That is a master, I gotta admit that. So, which creature is more dangerous? Well, I'll just leave that decision up to you. Thank you.
Isn't he great? Thank you so much, Eric, and congratulations. All right, up next we have our Cape of Honor Award. The Cape of Honor Award was put in place a couple of years ago to recognize our junior Grangers who are going out and serving their communities. And let me tell you, these kiddos have racked in some amazing amount of hours. So I want to recognize each of our recipients for tonight. In the white tier, with 28 hours, Taylor Elliott from Oregon. In the gold tier, with 139 hours of community service, Danny Wilcox from Pennsylvania. In the gold, with 507 communities. And I want to thank each and every one of them. I want to encourage you to have your juniors count their community service hours because they are important. And it's just amazing to see what they're doing. At this time, I would like to recognize our junior manager of the year. This young lady has done some amazing things and has represented not only her state, the junior Grange, and her community. She's just been a shining example for what we need in our junior Grange program. So at this time, I would like to present the Gold Tier Junior Grange of the Year to Ms. Annette Hartley from Rhode Island. And we're going to
like she said, she is watching online, so I'll try not to embarrass her too much. But I will say, the hours that she's done, I don't know who's out of the house who might have volunteer or her or myself. But after I look at this and I see her sheet, I think it's actually her. So she does a lot of hard work, and she's just really great with the community. She loves kids and working and doing that and whatever she can promote the junior Grange. So on behalf of Nettie, back home in Rhode Island, thank you very much, and keep up the good work, honey. I love you.
Now I'm going to invite my partner in crime on the stage, Ms. Mika Boswick. Cohesively together, we work on connecting with our program and watching for those shining stars that are not only, now transition into the youth department, but keeping watch over our juniors and encouraging them and mentoring them. So at this time, we want to honor our junior mentor of the year.
Our junior mentor of the year was Gail Switzer from Pennsylvania.
Congratulations and keep up the good work in encouraging those juniors. All right, for the last time, I want to introduce my ambassador team for this year. They have been absolutely amazing. I can't say enough good words about them. And so I'm going to let them give their final address to you guys and invite to the stage Bryce and Brianna.
Hi again, everybody. So, I was going to say thank yous. So, I'd first like to thank my parents for always being willing to adapt to new things and always being really ready to I just remember Dallas Airport Mall. I know you do too. It was fun. So, thank you for always helping me and always being willing to be there for me. Also, I'd like to thank my grandparents for not only taking me lots of different places, but for always just wanting the best out of me and always expecting a lot out of me, and for making me the person I am today. And I'd like to thank Sam once again for what you've done the past 2 years, and everything that you've put in, all the work you've done. It really means a lot. And finally, to the officers, delegates, and all the members of the National Grange in the audience, as well as the Grange Foundation, for supporting me and supporting the continued growth of this program. So with that, thank you for your time.
I really appreciate the generosity and support from the Grange Foundation and from my home Grange and state Grange. The kindness and support from all the Grange members that I've met has been amazing. I'd also like to thank Samantha for her help and support, and thank you. I have had a wonderful experience.
Now is the highly anticipated time. It is time to introduce our 2021 ambassador class. Representing the state of North Carolina, we have Ms. Riley Hartzell. Riley is 13 years old from Mount Pleasant, North Carolina. Riley is the daughter of John and Emily Hartzell and has a younger sister, Reagan. Riley is a 7th grader at Mount Pleasant Middle School and takes real pride in her studies and strives to make A's in all of her work. She is a competitive dancer and has been dancing since she was 2.5 years old. Her favorite type of dance is jazz and lyrical. Riley loves spending time with family, going to the lake, sitting by the pool, and taking trips to the beach. Family means everything to her. She also has a love for animals and has quite a few. 2 cats, Cheetah and Callie, 1 dog, Bailey, chickens, goats, some cows, and a donkey named Jenny. Riley grew up surrounded by Grange, and she has attended her first Grange meeting when she was less than 1 month old, and has been fully invested since then. Her mother grew up in Grange and shared that love with her entire family. In her junior Grange years, Riley has served in several offices to include the executive committee, series, Flora, and overseer. She has been attending her state camp since she was 4.5 years old and was selected as part of the state leadership team this last summer. Riley has helped lead her peers in games and songs and has even cheered them on while winning the Battle by the Bay at Grange Camp. Locally, she has participated in community service projects, helping make noodles for their annual chicken noodle soup dinner, and on the state level has enjoyed participating in contests and helping them with service events. Riley states that she eats, sleeps, and breathes Grange. Riley Hartzell, North Carolina. Cade is 13 years old from Roxborough, North Carolina. He is the son of Charles and Allison Howerton. He is an 8th grade honors student and is very involved in his school. He is involved in both band and theater. Cade describes himself as smart, confident, outgoing, persevering, bold, and funny. The Grange has helped him develop those character traits and made him feel more comfortable being involved in activities outside of the Grange. Cade has developed an interest in agriculture and has participated in building a large vegetable garden and a small Christmas tree farm. He participates in many community service projects, such as working at a food bank, visiting assisted living facilities, and passing out free medication to needy families. Cade believes the traditions in the Grange are very valuable, and he has enjoyed watching his family partake in them since he was a young kid. Cade has been recognized and received multiple awards on both the local and state Grange levels. These awards include the Leadership Award, Counselor Award, the Community Service Award, and the James B. Hunt Award, which is the highest honor given to a junior Granger in North Carolina. Cade was named the 2021 State Junior Grange Master and also Camp Prince. He is excited to be representing North Carolina State Junior Grange and running for the National Junior Grange Ambassador. Cade Howerton, North Carolina. Sadie is the 14-year-old daughter of Sue Ann Johnson and Michael Rounds of Hookstown, Pennsylvania. Sadie attends Southside High School and is in the 9th grade. She plays on the varsity soccer team and the varsity golf team. Sadie is a member of Hookstown Junior Grange, where she joined at the age of 5. She attends Beaver County Junior Grange Camp and Pennsylvania State Junior Grange Camp each year. In 2016, she was crowned the Beaver County Junior Grange Princess, and in 2021, she was the runner-up for the Beaver County Junior Grange Ambassador. This summer at the Pennsylvania State Junior Grange Camp, Sadie was chosen to represent Pennsylvania as the 2021 Junior Grange Ambassador. She also attends numerous Grange events, local, county, and statewide each year. Sadie volunteers many hours at the Hookstown Fair, along with her family. She is a 4th-generation fair volunteer. She helps assist her parents and her grandparents in many aspects around the fairgrounds and loves to enter vegetables and other projects into the fair. Sadie attends Mill Creek Evangelical Presbyterian Church, where she is involved in many different aspects, from vacation Bible school to performing in holiday programs. She is a member of Ohioville 4-H Community Club, where her projects of choice is gardening. Sadie was also honored to be chosen as the National Miss Agricultural USA Petite Ambassador in 2019. Sadie's hobbies include swimming, math, soccer, riding quads, hanging out with her friends, and her 4 dogs. Her future career plans at this time is to become a pharmacist after she graduates high school. Representing Pennsylvania State Grange, Sadie Johnson. Pennsylvania State Grange Representative Harvey Rayburn. Harvey is a 14-year-old from Cochranville, Pennsylvania. He is the son of Stanley and Jessica Rayburn and has 2 brothers and 4 sisters. Harvey is a member of Russellville Junior Grange number 550 in Chester County, Pennsylvania. Harvey is a freshman at Oxford Area High School, a member of the Boy Scout Troop number 44 of Salonga Community 4-H, the Oxford Area High School Marching Band, and plays the bassoon in the concert band. Harvey attends Andrews Bridge Christian Fellowship, where he is an active member in their youth group. Harvey enjoys mowing yards with his family and neighbors and gives his time mowing the Russellville Grange yard for free. He also works for 2 local contractors and helps them with home improvement jobs. In his free time, he likes to tinker with things, ride ATVs, play tactical board games, collect Monopoly games, and research farming technologies. Harvey joined Russellville Junior Grange when he was 5 years old, but started attending meetings with his older siblings when he was much younger. He has held many different offices such as gatekeeper, assistant steward, and master, and has participated in many junior Grange events and contests on both the local and state levels, such as state session, junior jamboree, and spring retreats. Harvey served as Russellville Junior Grange Prince before going on to serve as one of Pennsylvania State Grange Junior Grange ambassadors. If selected as National Junior Grange ambassador, he would like to keep the Grange growing in membership, starting with our junior Grangers. Harvey Rayburn, Pennsylvania State Grange. Ladies and gentlemen, your class of 2021. All right, farewell, please. The 2022 ambassador class for the National Junior Grange Ambassador title. The first candidate selected is Ms. Riley Hartzell from North Carolina. Congratulations, Riley. All right, and now time for our male ambassador. Representing the 2022 National Junior Grange Ambassador class, we have Mr. Cade Howerton from North Carolina. I want to thank each of these candidates for all of their hard work. The judges had their work cut out for them. Each one of them presented workshops today that was just absolutely blown away. We were all left speechless with how well they did, how well they presented, how well prepared they were. Their interviews were stellar. My judges had the hardest decision, I think, ever. So congratulations to each of you, and if you'd like to say anything, you're welcome to this time. All right, that concludes our junior part portion of the evening.
One more time. Absolutely. Now it's my pleasure to introduce your National Grange Youth Director, Mandy Bosman.
Just recognizing the National Youth team one more time. So when I just stand for your ask. President Ann Allen from Oklahoma. Vice President Cody Allen, also from Oklahoma. Lecturer Samantha Hansen from Iowa. Chaplain Jesse Joe Guthrie from Oregon. Secretary Annalise Schulten from California.
Washington. Gatekeeper Jacqueline Keaton from Oklahoma. Series Carly Conradi from Oklahoma. Laura Rachel Evelyn from Iowa. Pomona Hunter from North Carolina. Our 3 executive committee members were Elizabeth Van Fleet from New York. Jordan Moyes from Iowa. Randy Freeman from Nevada. Serving as our youth musician was. Alright, next up we're going to have the farewells from the 2021 National Grange Youth Team. And first up will be Molly and Vince Newman.
Dustin's giving us a hand here tonight, so bear with us.
First of all, welcome to Kansas. We are so glad to have you here in our home state, and we truly hope you have enjoyed your time here.
This past week has been a wonderfully exhausting experience. We have enjoyed being part of the committees and setting in on session. It's been great to reignite with Grangers we've met this year and to meet new Grange friends as well. Working with Brittany this week has been our only solidarity of bond as a team. And while I'm sad we didn't get to start our team in person together due to COVID, I am very happy we get to end our term together with each other by our sides. Brittany, we can't wait to see you continue to grow in the Grange. We have learned a lot about ourselves and the Grangers throughout the country this past year. We are thankful for the opportunity to serve the Grange at the national level, completing our duties right here in Kansas at National Grange. It is such a sweet ending to a great year.
We have a few people we'd like to acknowledge. First of all, thank you, Vince, for doing this with me. It took a little bit of arm twisting, but I really do appreciate you being here beside me. I'd also like to thank my parents, Roger and Melanie Bostwick, for giving me the opportunity to grow up in this great organization and for instilling a love for the Grange in me from birth.
I would personally like to thank Mom and Dad to telling me that joining the Grange wasn't an option. But I am so glad that I'm standing here today for the amazing experiences I've had so far. Thank you for Brittany for being part of our team. We are so glad we've met you, experienced this year with you, and we are so proud to know you.
Thank you to Mandy, even though you're my younger sister. I've looked up to you in many ways, and I am glad to have had this opportunity to serve the Grange with you this year. We'd also like to thank Samantha as the other half of the Mandy and Sam show. You and Mandy have provided support and guidance throughout this year, and we will be forever grateful. Thank you to our Grange family, who have happily taken Kimberlin as one of your own and watched through while we've been busy fulfilling our duties. I'm so glad to know so many people who love our girl as fiercely as we do.
Thank you, Kimber, for your understanding and resilience, even when Mom and Dad are busy out ranging. And finally, thank you to the officers, delegates, and members of the Kansas and National Grange, as well as the National Grange Foundation for supporting us in our growth in the national and junior programs.
To the next youth team, we wish you the best of luck in the year ahead. Take a moment to soak it all in and enjoy the journey. If you need anything at all, do not hesitate to reach out to us. We look forward to going right on working and serving the Grange. Thank you again, and we wish you all a happy, healthy, safe, and productive year.
Thank you, Molly and Vince. And next we will have our National Grange Youth Ambassador, Brittany Mercado.
So I'm sure everyone remembers this morning. So I promise not to make you guys cry, at least not intentionally. I am very excited to see the growth and progress that the new youth ambassadors will make this upcoming year. I hope that they leave feeling the same way I feel right now, grateful for the opportunity of a lifetime. I hope that they recognize the love and support that the Grange provides for us all, because I know I've felt it. For new youth ambassadors and patrons, I want you to be confident. Know that this is a learning experience. There will be plenty of Grangers more than willing to help along the way, and trust me, I know this. Learn to reach out, and good luck with this upcoming year, and I know that they will do great. Finally, I would like to thank everybody in this room. This week has been a lot more than I could ever expect. From my unusual introduction to Randy, on my way from the airport over the phone while talking to her husband, to having the honor of sitting through session and committee meetings, to today and the great things that will come tomorrow. Thank you, National Grange, Grange Foundation, the national officers, delegates, and most importantly, my number one supporter, my father. I'm excited for our journey ahead, and thank you, brothers and sisters, for allowing me to be a part of your family.
Maybe, would you please come out here?
Come on, don't be shy.
You don't have to open it up here, but we just wanted to give you a token of our appreciation. No, we'll look outside. Just a small token of our appreciation for everything this year, so, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Next up, we're going to introduce our 2021, I keep thinking what it is, Horizon Leadership Class. There we go. First up, we're going to start with our young patrons. So out first will be Braden Borley from Pennsylvania. Braden is a first-generation Granger, having joined the junior Grange with his sister Samantha at the age of 5. Since that time, Braden has become a lifelong member of Hookstown Grange in Beaver County, Pennsylvania. During the course of the past 2 decades, Braden has served the Grange in various capacities, including camp counselor, state youth committee, and state youth ambassador. In 2011, he was selected as the Pennsylvania State Granger of the Year. Braden works at American Co. Incorporated in vaccine manufacturing strategies. He resides in Bridgeport, PA, Pennsylvania, with his dog Millie. In his free time, he likes skiing and playing house with Derek S. Next up, we also have from Pennsylvania, Derek Snyder. Derek is from Bowling Springs, Pennsylvania. He is the son of James and Susan Snyder. He is a member of Valley Grange, number 1360. Derek is a 2018 graduate of the Pennsylvania State University with degrees in corporate business innovation and economic policy. Currently, Derek resides in South Central Pennsylvania, where he works in government and politics for Pennsylvania House of Representatives. In his spare time, Derek enjoys traveling throughout the United States and spending time with his friends and family. Our final young patron candidate is Emma Evelyn from Iowa. Emma says Grange has been in her life as long as she can remember. She has held multiple youth officer team positions, including National Youth Officer Team President in 2019. She is the current lecturer of Chester Royal Grange, number 2181, and lecturer of Iowa State Grange. She lives in Cedar Rapids, where she teaches 9th grade earth science and is the assistant coach of the girls' track team. Now for our youth ambassadors. First up, we have Amber Coral from Ohio. Go Amber! Amber is a senior at Western Reserve High School. She's involved in Grange 4-H, band, academic challenge,
book club, and National Honor Society. She exhibits a bunny named Ian at local fairs. He loves cuddles, carrots, and bananas. She has been doing academic challenge for 4 years and book club for 2 years. She plays clarinet and band and says it's fun to play for football games on Friday nights. Next up, we have Lily Roque from North Carolina. Lily is from Lumberton, North Carolina, and has been involved in Grange since the age of 9. She serves as North Carolina State Grange Youth Vice President. One of her favorite things about this year has been serving on the state youth leadership team with her little brother Jacob and growing as leaders together. She attends Coastal Carolina Community College to pursue a career in nursing. Outside of Grange and school, Lily enjoys reading, drawing, and spending time with family. And our final youth ambassador candidate is Cole Settle from North Carolina. Cole is the 2021 Male Youth Ambassador for North Carolina. He is State Grange Youth President. As a fourth-generation member, the Grange is a huge part of his life. He is thankful for the experiences and opportunities the Grange has afforded him. A senior at Appalachian State University. We had a whole conversation about this today. He is majoring in criminal justice and is a part of the university's archery team. When not attending Grange events, work, or school, he enjoys spending time outdoors, camping, hiking, or on the river. He also plays guitar and mandolin. Cole loves working with youth in the Grange and East Wilkes High School Hunter Skills team. All right, before we name our 2022 National Grange Youth Leadership Team, I want to take a moment to thank the judges for their collaboration to make this decision. I know it wasn't easy, and I can say that I'm glad that I'm not the one that had to make the decision. These are all great candidates. We will start with our young patron, your 2021 young patron. 2022, I don't know. Next year's young patron will be Miss Emma Edelin from Iowa. Ambassadors are Cole Settle from North Carolina and Amber Pearl from Ohio. I know several of you will want to take pictures. We will get pictures taken out in the lobby after the conclusion of this event. Congratulations to all of you. Next up, we have our Distinguished Subordinate Youth Program. We had one application this year. I believe it's not their first time they've got this. I do know that it's not the first time. I don't know how many. But Stanford Grange number 808 in New York has received the Distinguished Subordinate Youth Program this year. There's certificates in the back. I came prepared to be prepared. Next up, just a recognition of our John Turnbull Legislative Youth. Our John Turnbull Legislative Youth was Brittany Oliver from Washington. Brittany is a fourth generation, you don't have to go under Brittany, by the way, a fourth generation Granger and current member of the Washington State Grange Executive Committee. She is passionate about giving back and serving her community. In May 2017, she chartered Moses Lake Grange number 1511 and continues to serve her community. As a professional civil engineer working in Central Washington, she enjoys being able to work with agricultural, commercial, municipal, and industrial clients alike. Brittany is excited to bring her professional experience and expertise to National Grange and share her knowledge with the delegates, and learn a thing or two along the way. Brittany also got married, so congratulations to Brittany.
So Ben Van Cleef will be our first speaker.
Go back!
We're coming out here in a t-shirt and jeans, but it'll make sense in a bit. Okay, so the title of my prepared speech is called Plastic Soul. Kind of weird, isn't it? But for background, Paul McCartney, who many of you know, was reading a newspaper and he saw someone calling Mick Jagger's music Plastic Soul. So he saw that and then he named his new album Rubber Soul. And that's kind of the background of my phone. Pretty cool. Okay, that'll make sense because do you remember vinyl records? Do you remember the special occasion when your parents or yourself would buy the new Simon and Garfunkel album that had the song you liked on the radio and you would be so excited to play it when you got home? Personally, I don't. I'm sure many of you do. Well, today you might think of them as a relic from the past. The world of CDs, MP3s, and Spotify would bury that ancient medium of audio playback. However, when you walk through Walmart or Target, you might see those bulky square covers on a rack and remember a bygone era. Well, actually, people are buying those pretty squares. Kids that resemble when you bought records are doing the same thing. In the past couple of years, the vinyl format has outsold CDs and are only behind music streaming apps like iTunes and Spotify. How did this happen? Well, like many generations of the past, many people yearn for what their parents and elders experienced at their own age. Kids look through their grandpappy's dusty vinyl crate and find an album they know and look at the sleeve and look at the quality and wonder how they can play it. At least that's what happened to me. Many companies and record labels realize this market and press new artists' albums on vinyl, and this is what you see in the supermarkets aforementioned. But many teenagers enjoy the pops and crackles that you would sometimes hear listening to a vinyl record. They enjoy the aesthetic of old-time lifestyle and culture, and especially the music of the time, of course. Teenagers and young adults want to feel the freedom and comfort of the era their parents lived in because of this modern world. With so much technology and influencers can be overwhelming. I myself understand that, but I prefer to listen to vinyl simply because I love the music of the time. Vinyl is mainstream. I think having the audio format that the music was made for makes it the best sound possible. Contrary to many new vinyl enthusiasts, you don't want the crackles and pops people associate with records. A clean, no skipping listening experience is the best experience. And getting into that world of vinyl with no experience or lack of remembering can be difficult, as so many people have different tips and opinions. There is a sea of different equipment and stereo gear you can buy that different snobs say is essential. Personally, I have fallen for many of these traps and recommendations, but in reality, it's just like it was 50 years ago. It's all about the music. If you can enjoy your favorite Elvis song on cassette or CD, then go ahead. I, like many others, just love the immersion of slapping a record on the turntable and listening to an album the whole way through. That listening experience, to me anyways, is the best way to appreciate your favorite artists. Now, if you're wondering where to get these original pressings of your favorite artists from back in the day, you have many options. You can always try the new way of buying vinyl by going online. Websites like Discogs can help you find the exact copy of Abbey Road you had. If you want to do it the old-fashioned way at record shops and stores, you're in luck because record stores across the country have been opening their doors for the first time all over in the past 2 years. Just a month ago, I was blessed with a record store opening literally a block away from my Grange hall. So if the minutes and unfinished business ever gets really boring, I can just walk on down. Unfortunately, they're closed on the day we have it, so I might have to change that. But even in rural areas, you can always find a garage sale with some really good finds in old dusty vinyl crates waiting for its next owner. Thanks for listening and keep spinning records.
All right, our next winner is going to be from the Mid-Atlantic region. We're going to have Ashley Moan from Pennsylvania. Ashley? Next. All right, well, from the next region, we're going to have the Midwest, and it's going to be Miss, excuse me, I can't see here, Emma Edlin, excuse me, from Iowa. This kid's right behind me.
You were so close. That was the most creative I've heard. Next to Edelman.
Mark,
It's spelled wrong. It's Evelyn.
they set me up to fail.
All right, man, you ready? All right, so just in a moment, there should be a picture popping up. There we go. So this color we know as magenta. This color also is not real. And right now your brains, whether you feel it or not, are probably very uncomfortable. So our brains are very incredible. They're constantly taking in information, processing it even faster than we can blink. All of this data is then used to interpret the world around us. So if there's information missing, our brains do this thing where it just fills in the blanks on its own, whether it's right or wrong. And if there's too much information, our brain just decides what is relevant and then just deletes everything else. So pretty amazing, actually. Man, next slide. So this is the electromagnetic spectrum. All the color you see on here is all the color that we can see. If you go to your left, towards the violet side, that goes to ultraviolet, which is sunlight. And beyond that, if you continue left, is stuff we cannot see. If you continue towards your right now, towards the red, that goes into infrared, which is like your remote controls for your television. And then it keeps going into stuff that we also cannot see. But everything from violet to red is visible. What is cool is this is how we perceive color. This is wavelengths. We can't see wavelengths, but our brain has a very specific size and speed that we can see, a frequency. This high to low, violet to red. When you see color, you're seeing how the light interacts with material. So if you see the color white, what's happening is you're seeing all the wavelengths bounced back in your eyes. When we see the color black, what you are seeing is none of them reflected back. You're seeing an absence of light. So that's pretty cool too. When you see white, you're just seeing every color that you can possibly see at once. It's very different than pigment, like paint. So what happens is these receptors in our eyes take in light. We have cones and rods. Rods help us with night vision, whereas the cones are the actual color receptors. So the cool thing is humans and cats, we have the same amount in our eyes. So we're able to see reds, greens, and blues, and the rest in between. Dogs have 2, which is why they have color blindness. Birds have 4, so they can see everything we see, plus UV light. And there's this really cool creature called the mantis shrimp. It's basically a rainbow shrimp, and they have 16. So they can see 12 different channels of light, the UV light, and they can see polarized vision. So these cones that help us see color also help us interpret these light waves and translate them into the tangible color that we see: red, green, blue, purple, yellow, orange. So what happens is, if you're looking at this spectrum For example, when you see the color yellow, what you are seeing is typically greens and oranges, and it averages it out. It finds the middleman and goes with it. So when your eyes perceive that green wavelength and that orange wavelength, we see yellow, it finds the middle. Or when we see orange, what we're seeing is a yellow wavelength and a red wavelength evened out. To this, our brains are comfortable, since it's right next to each other. It makes sense that red and yellow you get kind of an orange if you go either direction. The yellow makes sense because orange and green are right next to it. So these colors make sense to our brains. It gets kind of tricky when we see violet and red, very far ends of the spectrum. When you average those out, what our brain sees is the color green. So violet's on the far left, orange is on the red is on the far right. You find the middle, you get green. This doesn't make sense to our brains. And so to fix this and correct it, it actually goes the other direction. For violet and red, it will go outwards. And that's why you see the color magenta. Because magenta to us looks like a variation of red and purples put together. And that's why magenta sometimes fluctuates. It's hard to see it as a single color because it's not real to us. It's our brain trying to fix this uncomfortable sensation it gets. And there are lots of other colors that our eyes can't see because they're not natural. Next slide, please. So if you look at this, this is called a fatigue template. If you were to look at the squares on the left side, so there's a gray square with a yellow circle, a gray square with a green, and a gray square with a blue. And then you were to look at that for about 10 seconds or so, then look at the middle, you'll see a different color pop up. What this is it's fatigue. When you stare at that color combination, it starts to hurt your eyes. And when you look at, let's say like the middle one, the lime green, if you look at that long enough, and then you look at the white background, you will start to see kind of a pinkish peach color. What's happening is that's causing our eyes to get fatigued and it creates a color that doesn't really exist. And when you look at a new thing, our eyes have to readjust and refocus, and it causes your eyes to relax. So what you're seeing in that transition time is that fatigue going back into regular light. So that's why after like a moment, it fades back to just the middle box. All because our eyes are getting tired because it's looking at two very contrasting wavelengths of color. So these new colors don't actually exist either. It's just your brain's trying to fix this uncomfortable sensation as well. So color itself in general is just a very wild concept because all it is the wavelengths coming in and your brain interpreting that information. Which leads into the next point that I have to make. Well, everyone's color is potentially different. All because it's just how our eyes and brains interpret this. So for example, the way that maybe I see red is maybe not how you see red. How I'm taught to see red is just this particular set of wavelengths is red. But maybe for you, you could be seeing orange, but you've been taught that this particular wavelength is still red. The reason is we don't know what everyone else sees. And that's why that's super cool, because our worlds may be the same, but that interpretation of color may be completely different. So everyone's world may be a different color rainbow. So the moral of this is, colors are weird, brains get uncomfortable, so just enjoy the colors in the world around you. And just thank your brain for being as amazing of a muscle as that it is. Thank you. Next up, from the Western region, is Annalise from California.
He's just figuring out how to say my last name. Have you ever walked into your kitchen and realized the bananas you swore you were going to make into banana bread or a smoothie are bad? Or how about when you meant to make a salad and when you pulled out the lettuce, it was slimy? How about cooking dinner instead of eating those leftovers you already had? I'll be the first to admit, I have too. And we're not alone in that. Close to half of all the food purchased ends up in the trash. Food waste happens at all levels, with consumers, corporations, and producers. Human error and high industry standards are the two major causes of food waste in the United States, according to the Food and Drug Administration. There is room to improve across the farm-to-table process. Reduce human error, create a better pipeline for food that does not meet current consumer expectations, and create more viable options for farmers when supply does not equal demand. First, at an individual household level, there are lots of small ways to reduce food waste that make a big difference. Looking in your fridge or freezer before going to the store can prevent double purchasing. Planning out meals is another great way experts recommend, but isn't possible for everyone every week. Finding a balance between reducing agricultural products being sent to a landfill and what is a realistic expectation are things that we need to figure out in our day-to-day lives. Second, we should aim to further educate on the differences between a sell-by, best by, and youth finder. It can be easy to look on the bottom of a container and throw it out once the date passes, but in reality, that might have been the date for the store to utilize. After the best by date, food is still safe, but it's set earlier to ensure quality and reduce food spoilage. Strawberries are delicious fresh, but so is a frozen strawberry smoothie. Freezing food is an easy alternative that only takes a short minute to do and keeps your food from going bad. Where each household stores its produce can be beneficial as well to reduce your food waste. Keeping your products at the top and in front can help keep them at the forefront of your mind. Finally, food waste can be prevented by corporations, such as restaurants, trucking companies, and grocery stores. Apples are now expected to hold a perfect oval shape, without a blemish, a bruise, and ideally have a solid color, when in reality, not all fruits and veggies grow in perfect straight lines, a solid color, and without a blemish. Agriculture is a big part of everyone's lives, and the 2% of people in production agriculture can produce enough food fast enough for it to be wasted so quickly. Helping producers figure out how to cater to what consumers want and, while making a living, is a fine line. While thinking about all of the imperfect produce that doesn't get sold or even make it to the stores, we can take action. A website called Imperfect Foods sells fruits and vegetables that might not have gotten sold or even make it to the stores. They take that product and put it in a bag for people to come purchase and take back to their homes. Because there is so much food being wasted from a blemish or bruise, these are ways that we can utilize them for smoothies, frozen dishes, or even things like banana bread. Supporting programs like that or other local producers are ways that we can offload products directly, which will cause a steep reduction in waste. Local food pantries are a great option and welcome producers across the country so they can donate fresh produce, canned goods like my family enjoys donating, or imperfect appearing foods. In 2020, 80 billion pounds of food were wasted. And 108 billion pounds were thrown away in the United States. we think about food waste in agriculture, we are trying to get rid of it altogether, but reduce it whenever possible. To reduce my own food waste, I can preserve more foods through freezing or canning, eat more leftovers, and make it my mission to check the fridge before I go shopping. Next time you go into your kitchen or buy produce, think of the meals you can make ahead of time and the farmers that grew your food, so you too can reduce your food waste.
He just lets us all keep going on his jacket. It's kind of snazzy. All right, I'm going to invite Samantha Wilkins, my counterpart, my other half, up here. We're going to announce the youth and junior baseball winners. We played our Grange baseball game yesterday, so we're going to announce those winners. You don't need to come up here. On the youth side is, in first place, Jesse Jo Gutridge from Oregon. In third place, we have Reagan Hartzell from North Carolina. Patricia from Idaho. And Kate Alderson from North Carolina. Okay, the final youth award for the night, and then I will no longer come on stage, is we brought back a Grange Youth Spirit Award. I know in the 80s and 90s it was called the Jody Bailey Thomas Award. I didn't want to rename it that because most of our youth don't necessarily know who she was, and I did not want to take away from that, but I did want to bring back the Youth Spirit Award. So they were chosen by their peers. They needed to exemplify these three following traits: eagerness to participate in all things, including workshops, games, mixers, dance, and cleanup; demonstrate a strong support of the National Grange Youth Program; and demonstrate a genuine care for fellow Granger and support others in their endeavors to achieve personal satisfaction. Vince, if you would bring out the spirit stick, please. The winner of the 2020 Grange Youth Spirit Award is Ashton Medlin from North Carolina.
You got spirit, yes you do, girl.
And that concludes the youth portion of the night.
Had a malfunction. Okay, next up, it's my pleasure to introduce your newly installed Vice President of National Grange, Mr. Chris Hand.
Well, good evening. So the contests that come under the lectures program are in the program, so I am not going to reread those winners for you, but I am going to just give you some statistics on entries for this year. So first off, for the National Grange Quilt Block Contest, there were a total of 201 entries. There were all but 11 of those came in the first group, the age 14 and plus for the women. And there were 6 in the junior group and 5 in the men's group. For the Grange publicity item contest, there were 81 total entries this year. There were 60 in the in-house category and 18 in the professional category. And those have been showing on the TV in the showcase room all week, and it'll be going until noon tomorrow. So if you haven't stopped by, you can check out those entries as they loop on the TV, and then the first 4 will also be posted on the website in the next couple of weeks. We'll make sure we get those up there, so you can check out those there. So let's put your hands together for those publicity items. And then the virtual photo contest. So the virtual photo contest came into being last year as a way to participate in a photo contest during the COVID restrictions, with a lot of the state conventions not meeting and not having a photo contest. And so we put together a virtual photo contest. Absolutely anybody in the country can enter. It doesn't have to be a Grange member. It doesn't matter if they make money with their photographs. You send in photographs and we will judge them. And so this year there were 3 categories: barns, selfie, and close-ups. There were 30 entries in the barns category, 18 selfies, and 55 close-ups. And all of those are also looping on the second TV up in the showcase room. So you can stop by and check those out, and then those winners as well will be posted on the website. Also, for all 3 of these contests, there are rosette ribbons that are presented in addition to the checks for those winners. The rosettes are here this evening. They'll be at the table as you exit the door, and if you are here to pick up your own, or if there's somebody from that state that would be willing to take that rosette home to that person, that would be fantastic. I will mail the checks directly, but the rosettes it's much easier if you can carry them home than trying to put those in the mail and get those back to where they need to get to. So the virtual photo contest, the other thing I wanted to say was it gives folks an opportunity to get their photographs recognized without going through a state contest, and the number of entries is starting to creep up. We're over 100 this year. Thank you all who entered a photo. The last thing I wanted to do tonight is I wanted to recognize 2 outstanding women that have really assisted me, not only this year, but for one of them, the last several years that I've had the opportunity to serve as your national lecturer. And she's not here this evening, but I know she's watching from Idaho. And this first one is for Sister Bonnie Mitson, who's the state lecturer of Idaho. And those of you that know Bonnie know that she is the voice in my ear for the last several years on how to make these contests work for the anything having to do with quilts and quilting. I now know more about quilting than I ever thought there was to know, but thanks to Bonnie. So this one is called Dare to Soar, and the inscription on this rock here is extraordinary energy, concentrated power, and sheer will. This is the potent mix required to break barriers and reach the pinnacle of success. and that is indeed Bonnie. And thank you very much for making the national lecture contests the great success that they've been the last couple of years. This one's for you, and I'll make sure I get to present it in person. The second one this evening, and I know that this individual is in the room, and Sister Randy Farmer, can you come up? Your family told me they'd have you close to the stage, Randy, so come on up. So obviously, when state conventions get held around the country, and I'm living in Spokane, Washington, it's hard to make sure that the things that need to get done here in Wichita, Kansas get done. And somehow, by the luck of the draw and everything else, I was fortunate enough to get married up with Randy this week, and for the several months before convention, to assist me in making sure that we got everything done that we needed to get done. And that included assisting with all the components of the Quilts of Valor program for those of you that were in the room Wednesday night at session, and as well as every other need and request that I could come up with. She made it happen. I understand you're supposed to be at the head of the white line here. That's what they say. So this one is the same quote: extraordinary energy, concentrated power, and sheer will. This is the potent mix required to break barriers and reach the pinnacle of success. And this one is called Above and Beyond. And it brings me great pleasure to be able to present this to you and to say thank you again for everything that you've done for this convention, and especially for those programs and projects within the realm of the national. All right, that's all I've got. Thank you.
Sister Chris, on behalf of the National Grange, I want to personally thank you for what you've done for the lectures department. You do that very personally, and you have brought this department up, done amazing things, and I personally appreciate what you've done, and you've allowed so many Grangers who not be able to get a photograph or get some into the contest, be able to do this electronically, bring this into the 21st century. So thank you, Sister Chris, I appreciate it. Next on the list is your membership leadership director, Sister Amanda Rosanna Rios.
So tonight I'm actually here first to mop up a little bit of my mess that I created. In 2012, we created the Communication Fellows Program, which has been a really vital resource for the department to function in many ways at convention, but well beyond that. And this year, it's fantastic to have a senior fellow with us who is now coming on board as our new communications director as I transition out of that department, specifically to the membership and leadership development role. So I'm going to have him recognize our new fellows that you've seen running around all week, getting photos and getting quotes, as well as what I'm calling our staff photographer for the week. And then I'm going to let him do the rest. So I do want to recognize Phil Grenada. He should probably come out from behind stage. There we go. Phil's going to do an amazing job this week. He has put together the newsletter and programs like these with our fellows. Not this one. Ethan put this one together, but everything that you got this week, Phil's had a hand in, and I'm really excited to work with him and behind him for the rest of the fellows programs from the future. So congratulations. You signed your own certificate. And because I know we are trying to keep a tight schedule, the fellows are going back into our room to continue working tonight after this, so we're not gonna make them all come up here, but Lindsay Schrader, our staff photographer, who's probably the longest serving fellow at this point, and yeah, and I don't know how she's done that to put up with me, so congratulations, Lindsay. And before I turn this over to Phil, we decided this year, good idea, to do a certificate of appreciation for some of our folks who come and help us. Part of the program is not just about teaching press releases and taking photos, but it's also about learning more about the Grange, you know, a wider context. And we have folks who consistently, year after year, bring us snacks and food, and you cannot understand how far that goes. We have people who come in year after year to give us advice and information, and no matter how many times some of those same people come in that I get to hear, I learn something new about Grange. So the mentorship and the information they provide to our fellows is really key to shaping their view of what Grange is, what Grange can do, how they can help build the Grange when they go back home with the skills that they've learned, and why they want to stay connected. And I'm going to do this last one because for 6 years now, she's been letting me put words in her mouth. So our first certificate of appreciation is by the national president. That's you. And Bill.
So before I begin, I do want to take another moment to thank Grange Advocacy for sponsoring the fellowships program. Without you and the support of everybody who is giving to Grange Advocacy, we wouldn't be able to train the future leaders of the Grange. I came up through the fellowship program just a few years ago, and I'm so thankful to be able to stand here today in front of you as your next communications director. That being said, call me, I can help you out. This year we had a group of fantastic fellows. I'm just going to recognize quickly, they've worked alongside me all week. Yes, my hands have been in everything that has gone out this week, but none of it would have been possible without the support of our fellows. So first is our two assistant fellows for the year, Robert Beeman and Jennifer Noss, who will both get their certificates back in the office later. So thank you, Rob and Jen. One of the coolest parts of the Fellows program is that it's not just open to youth, it's open to a wide range of experiences. No matter where you are in your Grange journey, you are welcome in the Fellows program because everybody has something more to learn. And that's why I really like that we had 3 distinct age groups represented in our Fellows this year. First to Ethan Edwards of Illinois. Illinois. I know. Second to Sasha Secor from New York. And then to Chad Smith from California. Incredible fellows class, and I'm so thankful that they were my first. And then, like Amanda said, the fellowship program would not be possible without the support of a wide range of people who come in with treats, and that's not the only reason we like them, but it helps. But also the people who come in with wisdom and guidance, the people who provide what I call the backstage support because I'm a theater guy. The people who are hidden in the background often don't like to step into the spotlight. So we do have some certificates of appreciation, and I'll be finding all of these people tonight to make sure they get their certificates from me. First to Ann Merchant from Minnesota. National Grange Youth Development Director. National Grange Legislative Director. Carrie and Ruth Blassingame, who held down the fort in the fellows room when we weren't there. Chris and Dwayne Hamp from Washington. Vice President, now Priest Archon Phil Prelli.
former membership director Joseph Stefanoni, executive committee member and Grange Advocacy Board member Leroy Watson, junior director Samantha Wilkins, and my late night editor, former fellow of mine and somebody without whom I would be totally lost, Elizabeth Heiner from Colorado, who as of Sunday is going to be starting a Grange in Hawaii, and I'm going to chronicle her journey. So, thank you all, and I'm going to turn it back over to Pete.
Okay, so now you get to Pete the Man Show. And it can go one of two ways. I ain't betting which way it's going. I have this. So this time, Amanda is going to announce awards that she has. They're special.
All right, so while this program is run by Loretta Washington, our sales, programs, benefits, and membership recognition director, I'm gonna take this one for the team, I guess. It is an exciting program. It is our Distinguished Grange program. You've seen it for 10 years at this point. And I'm just gonna hit the highlights because we do have a time crunch, but you've seen these in our programs. The 10-year Granges, which is incredible the amount of things that they need to do to get this award. So for 10 years, they've been doing this type of stuff consistently. Grantham Grange in North Carolina. You guys do some amazing things. We hear about you in the news. We know that things are going on there. So congratulations for getting that award. And then Gratiot Grange in Michigan. Sorry. 10 years. Other special awards are the 5-year Granges. You'll get a plaque. Loretta will be getting that out to you in Bethlehem Grange, New York. North Grange in Maryland. Stony Point Grange in Pennsylvania. And Bethlehem Grange, New York. Pennsylvania, you can do better than that. You didn't even know. All right. And the state Granges, Maryland State Grange and Pennsylvania State Grange this year received Distinguished Grange. All right, Pete.
Legacy families. I want to thank Sister Loretta Washington for starting this program and trying to collect how long people have been, how many generations have Grange. And it's spectacular to me, these numbers. We have 2 families that is the 7th generation. So when I call your name and they can stand up, I can't see you if you like. Just stand up for me. We have the Ingwerson family. Yeah, those from Kansas. Stand up. There we go. I kind of figured that. And the Schiff family from Kansas. Everyone sit down except the matriarch of the family. Just remember, you started the whole thing. Thank you. Next, and again, Sister Loretta started the Granges in Action program. This is a very simple program. It's 1 page and 3 pictures. Send to Sister Loretta. You'll be part of the Action Grange program. I believe that'll probably be the next slide as soon as.
Really hard to hear back there.
There we go.
Like, you can hear me better doing this than we can hear back there.
We're not going to read them all, but I believe how many you say there were? Or Sister Loretta, how many did you have?
90.
About 90 Granges in Action. there for Oregon, California, Maine, New York, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Illinois, New Jersey,
And all the rest.
and all the rest of you. Spectacular. You know, it just shows what Grange are doing throughout the country, and I think it's a wonderful program. I'm so glad Sister Loretta started that program. And please pay attention when she sends information out. When your state Grange sends you information about it, fill it out, send it in. Be proud of what you're doing and brag about it. As Sister Loretta says, Grange need to brag. It's an easy way to do it. So again, thank you to all Granges who've done that.
That program, because while I'm not going to ask him to go back in here, we reorganized the Grange that was in the area where I grew up when I got back late last year and reorganized this June, and we are one of the ones on that list. So in just a couple months, we were able to do that. And so if we could do it in a couple months, every one of you can get your name on that list. All right, so we're going to move on to a new award that comes out of my department. I had put together what I call cultivators teams at the very beginning of taking this position because I really wanted to get some perspective from kind of select folks. I wanted to get a conversation started. I wanted to see where that would go. And I like the idea of this cultivators. So this award celebrates individuals or Granges who have inspired membership resources and growth, implemented programs that strengthen members' bonds to the Grange, and provided mentorship, training, and opportunities, as well as a variety of other things. So I have 6 of these tonight, one of which is not here, but I know he's supposed to be watching online, so let's start with him. And if I have someone from Delaware who would like to come up. Andrew Adams, who only joined the Grange about 3 years ago. Chip, that's you. Andrew Adams is getting our first cultivator award. Andrew actually had talked a lot in our meeting about making sure that payments and things were easier to get so that members, especially younger members, were able to just immediately get in and feel like they were signed on. And so he has actually gone above and beyond, I think, in getting your state Grange's website not only up and running, but also making sure that that payment system is there so they can go to local Granges, and those young folks who are not good at carrying checkbooks can pay for their membership. So Andrew is my first recipient for that. This I'm going to save that one for the second. Okay, my second one includes 2 folks, and you've heard about one of them earlier tonight, so it's probably not going to be a surprise. And you saw her father get up here and take her word for her. So Walter Hartley and Nettie Hartley are my second. They were part of our, where's Walter? They were part of our New England Northeast cultivators team, and it was from their suggestions of a couple of things, including a discussion about when people come into your Grange, sometimes they don't even know where to look if you're set up in full form because they're not sure who is where and what's happening. And so we talked a little bit about that, and from there, the sneak peek brochure was born. And so if you have seen that document that Loretta tells me is a bestseller, it is all because of Walter and Nettie and some of their input. And 12 and changing things for us, and I think, like I said, Loretta would tell you that was really important. So, thank you, sir. My next award goes to someone who probably grayed a lot out of a process that started just a little over a year ago. I had opened my email one morning and saw my morning report, which tells me what news the Grange is involved in. And I said, oh, it's going to be one of those days. And I called our worthy president and I said, we have a problem in Washington State. At that point, there was a large news article about 3%ers taking over a Grange hall. It was a really big thing. And I got a call not much later than that from Brother Tom Quinn. So Tom can come up. Tom handled this in a way that I think most people would not have. He walked through a process of figuring out what they needed to do, not only on the PR end, but then also from what happened, there were people who went out of their way to say, you know, they wanted to reclaim the Grange, which was a whole other issue. So then he had to talk about legal and trademark stuff. And after all of that, he ended up with a Grange that now has 96 new members of people in the community who care that the Grange is nonpartisan, that the Grange is open and welcoming. And I really think that that Grange is moving forward. So Tom? How about that? So sometimes conflict is okay, but not like that. Please don't do that. Always the West Coast that gives me heart. Okay, two more. So this state a couple of years ago really made an investment. I would say they doubled down. It was during Brother Joe's term in this seat as a membership leadership director that we started hearing from them that they wanted, you know, hundreds and hundreds of brochures to be sent to them. They wanted designs for things like banners that they were going to buy for every Grange in their state. Now, certainly not every state has the resources to do that, but Oregon has put resources that they have to work for them. And if nothing else, Sister Susan, if you'll come forward, is showing that if you spend it, they might come. But I think it's more about if you make sure to have a concerted membership effort. And what I really think is special about this, I'm sorry, we really can't see here. What I think is really special about this is that the program was more than just what money they were willing to put in. It was about getting their folks from the state Grange out to the local Granges to be something other than charter takers and have a really good face. And if you got to look at some of the packet stuff that I put together, or if you haven't heard about that, what I will tell you is I believe that you kind of are showing us what the Titanic might look like when we turn this thing a little bit around. And so it is slow, but you are really in that part where Oregon State Grange is you know, leveling out, and I see the trend that you guys are gaining membership. So I want to give this to you and the Oregon State Grange, so you can choose who gets it. Flashiest, but it's for the home team. As soon as I came in this position, I got multiple emails with different ideas. He was part of my cultivators group, and he served as a sounding board and also inspired some of the products that you've seen before. When I was a communications director a long time ago with Grip Cards, has critiqued and done things with their website and has provided a lot of insight for some of our new products that have come out, including some ideas that I use towards our heirloom program, which if you've been to the showcase, you've seen. So Nathan Straughter, I'd like to recognize you as our final cultivator. I've got one more category, and it took up the most room in your book. And I think that's probably the most exciting thing here. I don't know if any of you know we had a hard couple of years. Did any of you have a problem the last few years getting together with people or anything? Nah. Well, it seems that 333 Granges in almost every state of the Grange world did not have as much of a problem, and 239 in another year. We have had successful growth in that number of Granges, including 9 state Granges in 2020, that 2019-2020 membership year, and 3 state Granges in the 2020-2021. So I want to recognize Nevada, who is not a state Grange, but we're going to call it that. Oregon, you guys will just stand. Minnesota, Colorado, West Virginia, Florida, Idaho, Massachusetts, Wisconsin, Oklahoma, Alaska, again, not a state Grange, but Granges that are there. And these are states where they have seen a membership growth. So congratulations to you guys. As I mentioned, 333 Granges in 2019 to 2020 found a way to grow. And I think that's a testament to either one of two things. They were doing amazing programs in their community that their community just couldn't overlook meeting needs, or they learned to pivot. They realized that there were needs in their community that they may not be meeting, or brand new needs because of the pandemic. And so 333 Granges are listed as 2019-2020 honor Granges. And you can look at that list and you can see big and small states represented and already large or very small Granges represented. And so I just wanted to encourage you to look at that list. If they're your neighboring Grange, reach out and ask them what they did. You might already know because you probably heard about it at your state level. In 2020 to 2021, 239 local Granges gained membership. And this is the same idea. If they are nearby you, please reach out to find out what they're doing and how you might be able to catch the wave. Our honor Granges are something to aspire to, certainly, and we know it's hard, but I think that if nothing else you come out of for your local Grange this evening, it's that there is a time where we can make excuses, and then there's a time to say, if we are relevant and meaningful in our communities, we will be here. So please look at those honor Granges and join me in congratulating them this evening. We are at the final stretch. You were able to page about 20 pages forward, and I am going to bring back our MC, our flashy, sparkly, and lovely Keith Crawford to finish out our evening.
Thank you, Sister Amanda. You see me, you know we're almost done. I'll drop some on the foot. So now we're going to end up with Community Service Awards. As we know, as you've seen in the showcase of community service books, spectacular. 30 books, all sizes of Granges, membership-wise. Some Granges don't earn them all, some don't. They all were wonderful. I will read off the winners. See me afterwards, I'll give you the certificates. The honorable mentions were Gardner Grange, Kansas. Yep. Studley Grange in Michigan. Unity Grange in Ohio, which has 18 members, they placed 4th. Goodwill Grange in Virginia. Barker Lake Grange in Washington, 2nd place. The first place I'm really proud of, because the first one we've had from the great state of Texas. Swallow Grange in Texas. Junior Grange, community service winners. You have a Junior Grange, you only got a page, you can fill out, send it to me pictures. Marble Junior Grange in Colorado. 2nd place, Econ Junior Grange in Connecticut. And 1st place, Humble Tools Junior Grange in the state of Washington. We also do the Of the Year awards. These are special. These are special awards. Every Grange should be honoring Of the Years, whether it's firefighters, teachers, just Rangers. It's special. This year's firefighter EMT of the year is Doug Fosberg, Lewis County Fire District number 3 in the state of Washington, nominated by Mossy Rock Grange 355. Our law enforcement officer of the year, William Dan Cook, Belleville Police Department, Illinois, nominated by Turkey Hill Grange, 1371. national president that's sitting there in the dark. Okay, take that how you want. Sister Betsy's been minding her own business. I figured let's bring her up for the very last presentation. So Sister Betsy, if you could take the mark right there. Sister Mandy, if you could stand next to her. The last award is a award that is given by the National Grange Community Service Department and National Grange Youth Department. To me, this is a very prestigious award. We have a plaque, the National Grange Building, hanging very prominently in the National Grange Building for the winners of this award. It's named after people to me who are the ultimate as a Grange couple that have did so much throughout the years, community service and youth in this country, with June and Justin. If you knew with or know June, they were just special people. So this year's Women June Justin for outstanding community service youth is Jen Knox, Pennsylvania. Jen, we also have for you one of the National Grange Community Service Directors who won the pins also. Grange throughout the country, helping the youth throughout the year. You're just so well deserved. You're more than welcome.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. It's great to see a pretty full house here. I hope you've enjoyed our first night of honors. I think it's great to gather all these winners in one place and spend a whole evening recognizing them and applauding them. So I thank you for participating. One request, we have to be out of here by 10 o'clock completely. So in the showcase room on your way back from the hotel. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for the work you do in your own Granges, and keep it up. And we want to see a lot more award winners here next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Betsy. Two more things. One, the showcase will open up as soon as we leave here. Two, I want to thank the staff of the theater. They have been spectacular to work with. They really have. Last but not least, I believe Billy Sheffield has a book I'm about to win. And as soon as that's done, we will turn the lights up.
This is going to be really high tech. Thank you, honey. I haven't done it totally counted, but I'll present the money tomorrow. All right. But we're thinking about 1,600. It's actually my best friend's ticket. John Woodson, he's from Clearmore, Oklahoma. I'd say all the proceeds are going to the Grange Foundation. I want to thank everybody for donating the money, and I hope Joan is very happy.